Hey, Steve Magnante here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with something, well, from the past and the present. It's a 1979 Ferrari 308 GTS. Now, these were made between 1975 and 1985, a 10-year model year run. And keep in mind that the 1975 6 and early 77s had fiberglass bodies. For late 77 through 1985, Ferrari went to steel bodies. Beneath the fiberglass or steel body is a steel tube frame. So again, no aluminum on these Ferraris, which is good, easier to repair if you ever need to do that. And of course, paint and body work is also more easily obtained. Now, this is a GTS, which means it's a Targa with a removable panel here that comes off, goes in the back for open air motoring, or the closest thing there too, short of a Spider, an actual roadster. There was also a thing called the Ferrari 308 GTB, B for Berlinetta, with a fixed roof. They're both equally popular, and these were incredible cars in the day, and they still are. Now, of course, 308 means 3-liter V8. More on that in a second. Now, if you remember your TV shows from early 80s, Tom Selleck as Magnum PI drove one of these in red, and of course his was a GTS with the removable top, so the camera could get better shots of him inside versus the fixed roof Berlinetta. But this one is a very, very nicely presented car. Has the 14-inch Chromadora rims, and the beauty here is that they have Michelin tires that you can still get easily. For 1981, there was a TRX wheel which had a 15.3-inch diameter rim, which is a little harder, in fact a lot harder to get tires for. But again, this is the correct wheel and tire combination. These are 14 by 7.5 all the way around, disc brakes all the way around, of course. Let's take a peek inside. And I gotta love the little details on Ferraris. The door handle is a work of art. It's like a little hiding in plain sight thing. You pull it like that, door clicks open. And let's change places here, go on inside there. And there's that classic Ferrari gated shifter. This has a 5-speed transaxle located behind the passenger compartment. Of course, that's where the engine is as well. But again, just a beautifully preserved interior. And again, 1979 Ferrari 308 GTS. And just a beautiful presentation inside. Leather seats, has the original clip-in 3-point seat belts, and just really, really in wonderful shape. So what I'll do now is I'll pull on this little prancing horse latch here, and it will open the engine cover. We'll take a walk over and check out that 3-liter V8. And just beautifuful styling. And before we do that, by the way, just the little details on these things add up as you walk around. This area right here is a beautiful little vented B-pillar region, but if you want to fill it up with gas, you do this, and out comes the apron, and that's where you fill it up with gasoline. Also, this opens to allow cleaning of the window. So kind of a cool little detail right there. All these little details just sort of hiding in plain sight on the 308. And pretty cool. Okay, back to the show. The engine compartment on these, of course, in the rear. And here's that beautiful, the prancing horse, the Ferrari logo, the round tail lamps, I believe first seen on the Ferrari Daytona. Again, just sort of reminiscent and styling themes that were used throughout the line to tell you it's a Ferrari. And there it is right there. That's the 3-liter dual overhead cam V8, transverse mounted. Now this is a 79, so it still has the carburetors, which is cool. The EFI stuff came along in 1981 or so and kind of degraded performance. So this is all very original. And the beauty here is, again, the dual overhead cams. And the great thing on this car is within the last year, this has had a $30,000 service, which includes something very important, the timing belts hiding underneath these cam covers right here. 1, 2, and on the other side 3, 4. These are the cogs that are turned by that rubber belt inside of here. These belts have to be replaced, and it was just done. Again, a $30,000 service on this vehicle, so it's ready to go. That's one of the things on belt-driven V8s of any kind, belt-driven cams that is. You got to make sure those belts are good, because if they do happen to fail or slip, you have valve-to-piston contact more often than not, something you wish you didn't have. Not an issue here. Other little details that are cool is the little cargo region here. We unzip the little cover, and inside, we find a nice Ferrari car cover here, a nice soft, almost like a sort of a silk almost that. Here's the original jack for the car. safety yellow. Very cool to see that with the correct metric wheel lug. And again, so, you know, even though the engine's in the back, these do have the ability to carry some cargo. There's also a boot area up front, which is just as tidy, so you can carry your bags for an overnight trip or whatever it might be. So even though it might seem like it's a two-seater with the engine in the back, there's no room, there's lots of room. You can actually go touring in these things without much trouble at all. So that's the story on this 79 308 GTS Ferrari. Low miles, 30,000 bucks in service, fresh belt, it's ready to go. Check it out on bringatrailer.com, and while you're at it, maybe rent or buy a mustache and pretend you're Tom Selleck on Magnum PI.